Hi. So I'm coming to you from the top of the ladder, and Shelly is standing down on our floor. And this magnificent little contraption is what is going to tie all of our roof rafters together. Nice little octagon shape. I haven't mounted it yet, but it's just up here for demonstrational purposes. But wanted to give you a little view. We've got all the top plates in on all the walls. All the walls. Yeah, all the walls are framed out.
Got like glass bottle window wall, and we also have a lot of our window, door, you know, the walls. That's we just kind of measured out stuff and made sure that it was going to be able to hold the stuff that we need. And you see those pretty top plates up there. They are doubled up 2x10s, and obviously cut to size to fit the post, and they look really pretty up there. Right.
And of course, once we put those in, all the walls just squared up really nice and sturdy. This one is the one I'm excited to work on because this is going to be over the stove. This is where we're putting that glass bottle wall on both layers, so that when you're at the stove, you're actually got a glass bottle wall in front of you, and all that light's coming in, and I think it's going to look really great.
Yeah, it's going to have good shine and colors that'll kind of dance in, especially during the morning, because that does face the eastern side. So it'll be a nice little heat, but it'll be good. It'll be really pretty.
Now, we did run into a couple of issues when we were putting the walls up, namely on the 3 posts over here. This one, and this one. And I'm not sure if it's because I took a little bit to cement them in, but they did adjust a little bit. So you can notice that this one is pushed out a little bit here at the top from the walls. Same for over there. And this one, that one's not so bad. It's like 2 inches off. But you're dealing with rough cut trees that we fell on the property.
And they were so heavy that it really made it hard to kind of make sure that they were actually standing completely vertical. And yeah, so they got a little wiggled because it was hard to pour concrete around them while holding them straight, and then trying to pour the next one because you can't hold the one when you...
Anyways, we're making it work. So this is actually going to have some shelves in it because it's right next to the kitchen sink. And we extended the top plate another row of the 2x10 to help make up for that gap. And then this is going out to the porch anyways, so it's actually kind of an interior wall, so it's not super important. The roof is still going to go past it. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Everything's covered.
Yeah.
Some little funnies here and there, but we got it. We used our brains.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of, when you're building something yourself and you're using natural materials, things are going to be a little wonky, and you just kind of roll with the punches. Shelly does a lot of blueprinting and designs on everything that we plan to do, and a lot of times it's just like communism. It looks good on paper, but in reality, it's kind of hard to do.
But in general, yeah, mathematics works out numbers, but no, not physical. Physical is much harder to make exact, especially when the wood you work with is not exact. But I'd say we've been getting quite along well. Anything that didn't fit, we cut to fit.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is when you're doing something that is not square to begin with.
Yeah. Now, I do want to go back on these walls that we framed out and put, the little pieces in between, all the studs, just to firm up everything, keep it nice and straight. But really, other than that, we're done with those. Next, we're starting on the roof rafters, and like I said, that plate up there is where everything is going to tie in together.
So that's what we're going to try to work on today. Definitely some of those wood pieces we have to shave down just to fit inside the special hanger that we got, which, trust me, it was hard to find, and you have to only order it online through Simpson Ties. And then trying to find a bolt for it, like 7/16 anchor bolts don't exist, so we have to drill it out, make it a 1/2 inch so that it doesn't wiggle. We want it to sit firm and not spin as we try to put a rafter up.
Yep. And again, we're dealing with true rough cut lumber. So it's not the same as you bought over at Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or anything like that. You're talking about most of those boards that you buy, 1 3/4, something like that in width. What they're called like a 2x4. It's really 3 3/4 wide and 1 3/4 thick. These are actually 2 inches by 8 inches. So that 2-inch being that width, we have to cut down a little bit just to make sure it gets all the way seated in there.
And from there, we got screws and nuts, and then, like I said, we found a bolt, and we have to drill that out a little bit and finagle some things, but then it'll fit nice and tight.
Yep.
Let's see, what else? The garden has gotten a little attacked by some squash bugs, so unfortunately our squashes are practically gone. I know it was beautiful in our last video. Yeah, yesterday I took some diatomaceous earth and sprinkled it all over in there so it looks like snow hit.
Yeah, they went after my black diamond watermelons too. Highly pissed on that one.
So before they get too bad on the watermelons, I wanted to make sure to get something down. If you haven't looked up diatomaceous earth or DE, it works great in the garden, home use, pets. It's a lot of awesome things. So yeah, hopefully that'll get them. Some of the rest of the stuff in the garden is doing still very well. DOG is kind of taking a break from destroying too much of it. And
tomatoes are really coming in.
The tomatoes have... I had put stakes down. I thought I tied it enough. No, they went even crazier. They went even heavier. So now I'm just going to let it do its thing. What tomatoes we get, and what we don't,
And the part that I'm really excited about is we had originally purchased 3 very, very small lilikoi or passion fruit vines from a company called Michigan Bulbs. And so they mailed them here once they came into season, and they had them in their greenhouse. And we had to wait like, what was it, a month and a half, something like that?
Yeah.
So very tiny little plants. And so Shelly was nursing them in a little makeshift greenhouse. And then we have that in our previous videos if you want to see what they look like. But now they have really taken off, and they have at least 3-4 foot vines going on them. They're beautiful. Really, as soon as we finish the house, I'd love to clean up the front just so they can just take over that whole patch, and then we'll have that fruit coming in.
And yeah, I think that's almost about it.
Well, the only thing we've been working on is these walls and the top plates, really, every time we get a spare moment. So,
well, we did kind of get burnt out, and we finally took a mini vacation, and that's where I got my fancy hat. He got a fancy hat. Well, now the house has a fancy hat too. But we went over to, what is it called?
Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge, and that was really fun. It was a much needed little mini vacation.
We only went for the one we worked on that Saturday. Then we got off of work, we drove, we spent the night at the hotel, had dinner. The next day we woke up, rode a bunch of go-karts, bumper boats, all that good jazz.
Fun roller coaster down a mountain.
Turn this way, so. And then we spent the day just doing all that, and then we went and saw the Dolly Parton Stampede, which is the dinner theater show. It's kind of rodeo, trick riding, things like that. It was way fun. And then after the show, we just drove home, and honestly, it felt like we were gone for like 2 or 3 days, and we just came back all refreshed and ready to go, and we busted out the rest of this stuff with the top plates coming up on the walls because we were just energized. So it was definitely something needed because we were talking, and only time we had been away from the property overnight, other than going to my friend's wedding up in Indiana, hi Riley, was to Thanksgiving, that we went down to my folks in Texas. So
And any trip that we've ever taken has always been to see somebody, to go do something with somebody. And this was the first trip we have taken since moving down here where it was just for us.
And just for fun. There was no
Gotta
objective
do.
to complete. Nobody you had to stop and see. It was just go have fun, enjoy your time, do what you want to do.
So that was really awesome. Now that I'm working as well and it's starting to get to fall, we are losing light at the end of the day. So it is getting actually harder to get little stuff done in the evenings, slowing us down just a little bit. But now that we've been so refreshed, it's a little easier to spend whole days busting it done just so that we could get it done because we really want to be in here by winter.
Yep, that is the goal. So today we're going to work on those roof rafters, and hopefully we'll have another update for you soon. I can't promise another one this month because I don't know what we're going to accomplish, and we value your time. We thank you for checking in on us, and we don't want to bore you with the mundane details of we accomplished this much. We'd rather give you a month load of look at all the things we accomplished. So,
Yay!
yay.
Go us! Go us! Go us!
But
Thank you.
as always, thanks for checking in on us. We love you, and feel free to share this with your friends. So anybody that dreams that about not having a mortgage and getting off the grid, that's what we're doing, and we're not doing it with a heavy bank account, with thousands saved up. We're doing it paycheck to paycheck and doing it as we can. All right, guys, have a good one.